Anthony Joshua has struggled to find his next opponent, and attempts to make fights with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte have so far eluded him. Wilder was always a fight we thought wasn't going to happen because Wilder just doesn't want it, and Fury has been looking for his rematch with Wilder. Despite entering talks with Anthony Joshua, he still fancies the matchup with Wilder, because he believes he can go out there and beat Deontay Wilder on the second attempt. But the question is, all of these fighters turning down offers from Joshua, could it be Eddie Hearn? Are they refusing to work with him, or is it just they don't want the fight? Well, we know that Fury and Whyte will be taking the fight, but Fury is asking a little too much, and we don't really know what Dillian Whyte's demands are for the fight to be made. But Eddie Hearn works for Joshua, not the other way around. He is there to provide Joshua with options and deal with the nitty-gritty of negotiations. He is loud and he is brash, but he is not like other promoters we know. But he is the new generation of promoters, and he is not like any other promoter that we know. Now, not trusting or feigning an inability to work with Eddie Hearn has just become another excuse to not have talks, mainly from Wilder's team that is. But while in interviews Eddie Hearn is slightly quirky and childish at times, he is very professional when it comes to making a deal between two fighters. I mean, how the hell did he even make Whyte vs Chisora? Not once, but twice. They would be extremely hard to deal with and cater to both parties' demands, purely because they don't like one another. I mean, at all. So while Eddie Hearn perhaps comes across a certain way to some people, you cannot deny how professional he actually is. And when it comes to getting the deal done, and remember, boxing is changing, it's evolving all the time, and Eddie Hearn is the next generation of promoter where he offers subplots to build up to fights and gets involved with the trash talk. It's just the form that the sport is taking outside the ring now. He is a salesman and that's what he does. That is why he behaves the way he does in interviews. But all parties know that when it comes to business, he will be professional. But if a fighter like Wilder refuses to deal with him and make excuses despite claiming to want negotiations, then you can't expect Eddie Hearn to not call them out, because he will. It seems Eddie Hearn has become another excuse for Deontay Wilder in particular, not wanting to step up against Joshua. I am sure he has worked with people in the past that he doesn't quite like, but he has done it to reach his desired potential. And all Wilder has to do is get Shirley Winkle to make a contract. Wilder doesn't even have to talk to Eddie Hearn if he doesn't want to. He can just get Shirley to thrash out a deal with Eddie Hearn, and if he is happy with it, then he can sign. 40% against Joshua is far better than 70% against a mandated challenger. But wait, Wilder's worth has gone down, right? 60% now. It's not about money. Okay then, the fight is about legacy. Take the fight then, make history, and make a handsome sum along the way. Because, believe me, if he fights Joshua, he will never have to fight again, he will never have to work again, he will be set for life. I know what you're going to say, if splits don't matter, then why doesn't Joshua just hand the 50% over, because it's about legacy for him too. Okay, how many fans can Wilder draw to a stadium fighting, say, Carlos Takam? A good fighter, but maybe not very well known. 5, maybe 6,000, being generous. Joshua, 80,000 in a stadium. Forget the belts and titles, look at the difference in which each fighter can generate. Eddie Hearn is a good businessman, and would any good businessman offer 50% of the pot, with 80%, maybe even 90% being provided by his party? So essentially, if 50-50 was offered by Eddie Hearn, it would be giving Wilder an extra 30% more than he deserves or can expect. I think 30% is very generous, and 40% is a godsend. I don't know why and who advised him to turn down such an offer, but that was too much, I believe. Don't believe me? Again, look at the stats of what each fighter brings to the table in terms of fan attraction. So if Eddie Hearn was to offer 50%, then he would be doing his client an injustice and essentially working for Wilder, because that deal is absurd. Wilder is pricing himself out and using Eddie Hearn as the reason. And in addition, he's saying that Joshua is ducking him. So he really has got a wild little imagination, hasn't he? But guys, what do you think? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys.